In Capital News tonight, assets in sisal plantations taken by individuals to be returned to the government. Form 6 and higher learning students start classes. And in sport, Taha to resume with beach handball championships. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get started with the national news. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed the special committee formed to make sure all assets of the former Sisal Authority, which had been taken by a few individuals such as plantations and employees' houses, are returned to the government. The directive was given by Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa after launching the office building of the Sisal board in TANGA region.
We have lost many shares of sisal farmers for many years. So many unscrupulous acts were done, including jeopardization of the farms, processing factories, offices and other things. I assure you today that everything will get back. Nothing goes in vain in this government. Our aim is to increase productivity in sisal farming within the coming 4 years to reach a target of producing 120 tons. Honorable Prime Minister, we are prepared to accomplish that target. In the meantime, we are also looking forward in introducing this crop to other regions which have favorable conditions of farming sisal. At Muheza in Mkanyageni, there was a processing factory that was doing a wonderful job in producing sacks. We would like to see cashewnut grown in Mtwara and Lindi regions be carried in sisal sacks that are produced right here in the country from Tanga, Kilimanjaro and Pwani regions. By doing so, value chain of these products will contribute largely in increase of employment opportunities.
Form 6 and higher learning institution students have started classes today, with the main challenge being maintaining social distancing as among measures against the coronavirus pandemic and making sure students catch up on the lost time caused by the pandemic.
Nimejiandaa vizuri kwa sababu walimu wameshaanza kuingia darasani wanafundisha.
I'm well prepared. Teachers have started to teach. We are taking all necessary precautions. We wash hands before getting into the bus, but we are also wearing masks and practicing social distancing.
Kwanza vyuo kufunguliwa tumeshukuru ili tuendelee na masomo alafu
we are grateful that the university has been opened. As you can see, all protective equipment has been provided. Rather than reducing the number of hours to 36, which is 75%, we've increased it to 78, so that if there is 4 hours, then the teacher has a choice to have half coming in the first hour and the rest coming in the second hour. So it is flexible, and lecturers will have students in class that they can manage.
Ulisema barakoa ni lazima. Sisi tulisema kwa hali yetu iwe lazima.
And the chairman of Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM, President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, has inspected preparations of the conference room for meetings expected to start soon at Jakaya Kikwete Hall, as well as CCM's headquarters, the White House in Dodoma City. During the tour, President Magufuli was accompanied by CCM's Vice Chairman Philip Mankula and the party's Secretary General Bashir Ali, whereby President Magufuli stressed that despite implementing the process for elections within the party, the general election will go ahead as planned.
Kweli nimefurahi maendeleo ya kazi kubwa inayofanywa na watendaji na ninyi viongozi wenzangu.
I'm happy with the progress made. The renovation has been done well, even new tiles have been laid. So I commend you. It is my hope that on mentioned dates work would be complete. If it is not possible on the 15th, then at least by the 28th, in preparation for future meetings. I'm delighted by the fact that it has been made in such a way that at least 2,500 delegates can be seated spaciously. Vice Chancellor, you've also spoken about various preparations that have been completed. I commend you for that. So today I've come to check on progress made. As you know, seeing is believing. So I'm confident that work is going on well. I know there are some party challenges, but I assure you that these will be resolved. I'm sure that Tanzanians willing to contest various CCM party positions will follow party set rules. We must reach a point where anyone contesting must carry out self-assessment and understand that the position he is contesting for is meant to serve the people.
Na kwa wale watakaohusika hasa mamalishe wakati wa mikutano yetu kuvishughulikia.
The second phase of the upgrading of the voters registrar exercise has started to be implemented in PEMBA Island with various challenges, which include some people not having citizenship identification cards, which is a requirement to be registered as a voter in the upcoming election.
The exercise is going on well and people have come forward, although some have not yet received ID cards. ID card is very important for registration. Some have not collected their ID cards. It is not taken seriously. I made a follow-up on my ID card, but there was a technical problem. So I had to leave and come back again, and still I've not received it. However, I have not given up.
The Minister of State in the President's Office for Regional Administration Local Government, SALAAM Jafo, has directed 67 districts that received funds from the government to ensure that the hospitals begin to provide health services from next week.
Leo Jumatatu. Siwezi kuja hapa nakuta miundombinu kama hii ipo.
I can't come on Monday to visit such kind of infrastructures while not much have been accomplished so far. I want this hospital to begin operations by next week. The buildings are complete. You can start operations, even in phases. You can't wait for the whole project to be completed, then begin operations. Kilolo Hospital is a demonstration hospital. Luckily, we have begun giving services to residents. Minor things are left, and without any doubt, what has been accomplished so far, this hospital can begin operation. So far, over 1 billion shillings have been used in construction activities.
And the government has launched a water project worth more than 15 billion shillings that will service Kiaka and Bunazi towns in Misenyi district and some of other villages within the district. The project will use River Kagera as a water source and is set to be completed in July 2021.
Na tutasimamia kuhakikisha kwamba unatekelezwa ndani ya miezi 13.
We shall supervise the exercise to ensure that this project is completed within 13 months. All we need is cooperation from residents, including volunteering in construction activities, as well as guarding River Kagera, since it's the main source of water for this project. This project will be well secured because people need this project for development activities. For the first time in history, the fifth phase government will use Kagera River in accomplishing development projects. So far, 70% of residents have access to clean and safe water, and we're looking forward to increase the number to 75% by the end of this year.
And the government has launched a plan to conserve more than 50,000 hectares in Dodoma. This is a part of a project to implement a strategic green Dodoma that is aimed at ensuring the environment in the city of Dodoma, which is currently the capital city, is kept clean.
Kuhifadhi miti ya matunda, kwa mfano mibuyu.
We charge for preserving fruit trees like baobabs, tamarind and others that will be locally available here. There shall be special areas to the botanical garden for preserving fruits that were used many years back.
Bustani hii ni ya kipekee kwa hapa Dodoma kwa kuwa
this garden is very unique in Dodoma because it is set for making seedlings of trees, special for urban tree planting. We decided to plant a lot of trees special for timber since they will help in construction activities in this fast-growing city of Dodoma.
Nasema mfuko wa misitu Tanzania umeniwezesha nimefika mbali.
I can confirm that Forestry Fund has supported me in my business within and outside the country. I urge people, especially women, to come forward and enjoy benefits of this fund. Indulging in beekeeping activities is not difficult at all, and not demanding either. After securing these logs, then you can carry on with other activities, while bees makes honey for you. And in 6 months' time, you are ready for harvest.
And that is all for the national news. International news is next. And in international news, the Rwandan government has cancelled its earlier decision to further loosen COVID-19 lockdown measures after reassessing the situation. Transportation between provinces and the capital Kigali, as well as motorcycle passenger services, which had been scheduled to resume on Monday, will remain closed until further notice. These latest developments come as Rwanda's Ministry of Health on Sunday reported 11 new confirmed COVID-19 cases, 6 recoveries, bringing the total number of confirmed cases and recoveries to 370 and 256 respectively.
It is true that the up-country routes and motorcycle public transportation were expected to resume today, have been halted for a period of 1 month due to 11 new cases of COVID-19.
And President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya has led Kenyans in marking the 57th independence anniversary Madaraka Day at a ceremony held at State House in Nairobi, which was attended by a few officials, with Kenyans staying home to watch his televised address due to the coronavirus pandemic. Deputy President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga were among those present at the occasion.
Fellow Kenyans, we cannot reimagine our nationhood also without changing our political architecture. But we cannot change this architecture without re-engineering our constitution. If we have done great things in the area of brick and mortar, the greater things that remain to be done have to do with our governance system, and we must not be afraid of changing the system if it does not serve our present and future purposes. Indeed, I have noted with concern the fact that our hospitality sector, that has been greatly hit as a result of the lockdowns, we have many of our workers now who are seemingly being laid off as a result of there being no business in all our tourism or hospitality facilities. And in order to cushion these workers and to work in line with this sector, my administration will focus on an intervention by offering an initial 2 billion shillings from the exchequer to support hotels and all related establishments and to ensure that they are able to maintain their staff complement and our cabinet subcommittee will be meeting to engage with stakeholders to develop the protocols for this.
South Africa also partly lifted a 2-month-old coronavirus lockdown on Monday, letting people outside for work, worship, exercise, shopping, and allowing mines and factories to run at full capacity to try to revive the economy. President Cyril Ramaphosa was widely praised when he ordered one of the world's strictest lockdowns at the end of March, confining people to their homes, forcing miners and manufacturers to cut operations by half, and banning the sale of alcohol and cigarettes. But the measures have battered the economy of Africa's most industrialized nation, which was already in recession before the virus, owing mostly to power cuts by state provider Eskom. The government hopes Monday's move to level 3 lockdown will stir businesses to a start. And that's all for the international news, but do stay with us. We'll be back with business news in just a short while.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and now in business news. The government has merged Tanzania Postal Bank and TIB Corporate Bank in order to increase competition in the financial sector. Announcing the government decision, the Treasury Registrar Athuman Butuka said to start with, TPB will take over all assets and debts of TIB Corporate Bank.
Uamuzi huu ambao tunafanya sisi serikali umeridhiwa na Benki Kuu ya Tanzania.
The decision we've made has been approved by the Bank of Tanzania according to laws governing the banking sector of 2006. The government has taken this decision in order to improve financial institutions' performance owned by the government, in order to have one strong commercial bank. This union is expected to bring a revolution. However, banking services will not be affected by decisions made today.
Kimifumo, kimuundo na taswira ya benki mpya.
And the leadership of Dar es Salaam City has reduced taxes for small-scale traders with disabilities conducting business activities at Machinga Complex, as well as constructing toilets that are user-friendly to people with disabilities.
Wamekuwa na kilio cha muda mrefu kuhusu kodi kuwa 20,000, lakini
there was a concern over the 20,000 shillings tax, but we've started and we shall look at the budget next year. For now, since 20,000 is too much for them, we've reduced it to 15,000. But those with no disability will pay 20,000. Disabled washroom is used by both sexes and it is also very dirty. People with disability have been encouraged to take out loans because money has been set aside for them.
Kopa ndani ya jiji kuna fedha ambazo ni za 2% zipo.
Rice farmers in Kahama District, Shinyanga region have urged the government to complete construction of Mcheche market so that they can sell their produce at a reliable market and avoid incurring losses due to unscrupulous middlemen.
If there is a ready market, then something should be done to make it accessible. It does not stop you, NFRI, from coming up with a new system to continue to trade. Your focus is not on profit maximization, but rather to serve the people.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Position, Joaquinho, he did lose and then
And now in sports news. Tanzania Handball Association TANGA has announced that all their competitions will resume, with beach handball championships taking place from the 1st to the 4th of July this year.
The council has provided explanation, but we also told all coaches to make sure once they get the new calendar and they start training, in every club there must be a medical expert who will consult on COVID-19 issue. All the clubs are aware of this, as I've given them all information, and letters will follow.
Tanzania's second-seeded middleweight boxer Ibrahim Maukola has called on Abdallah Pazi and Twaha Kiduku for a fight, claiming the two have been avoiding him.
Lakini sasa kama mechi ya nyumbani ikiwa hivi mabondia wanakimbia ndo basi tunafanyaje? Lakini mechi kubwa, mechi ya mpinzani, mechi ya nyumbani.
Toughest matches are local ones, but the problem is that the boxers are avoiding me. I would just like to tell Twaha Kiduku and Dula Mbabe that I don't have a friend when it comes to money, because promoters come and they provide funds, but these guys say I'm their friend. I don't have any friends on that.
Jadon Sancho and Marcus Thuram sent out a powerful message of solidarity towards those protesting against the killing of George Floyd by American police after scoring in their respective Bundesliga games on Sunday. Here, more details.
Followed up their on-field gestures with social media posts calling for change. The England winger revealed a slogan on his undershirt after scoring for Borussia Dortmund against Paderborn. This followed the Borussia Mönchengladbach forward Thuram taking a knee in a goal celebration earlier on Sunday as his side beat Union Berlin. Sancho scored Dortmund's second goal at Paderborn and then took off his shirt to reveal the message, "Justice for George Floyd."
Vincent Kompany has turned down an opportunity to become Pep Guardiola's coaching assistant at Manchester City in favor of continuing in his player coaching role at Anderlecht. Here is more.
The vacancy at City arose when Mikel Arteta left to join Arsenal, who are due to play at the Etihad when the Premier League is planned to return on 17th of June. Arteta was also the individual whose positive test for coronavirus in March in effect led to the suspension of the English season. And when the Belgian league was curtailed early because of the virus, Guardiola made contact with Kompany to see if he might be open to a City return. Despite enduring a difficult season in Belgium, Anderlecht had financial problems, were in 8th place when the season ended, and Kompany had his initial job title of head coach withdrawn due to lack of appropriate coaching qualification. The 34-year-old defender indicated a preference for staying with his boyhood club, primarily because he wishes to keep on playing.
And Premier League clubs have been told games will still go ahead once the season restarts, even if they are down to only 15 fit players. It has emerged. Here is more on this story.
SALAAM Vice Chair Karen Brady has revealed the subject of depleted squads was discussed in Thursday's conference call between clubs after Bundesliga teams reported a spike in strains and short-term muscle injuries following the resumption of football in Germany. Apart from the likelihood of more injuries after a 3-month layoff, clubs are aware that anyone testing positive for coronavirus would have to be withdrawn and isolated, so it is not inconceivable that 25-man squad lists could quickly lose half a dozen or more players. With 5 substitutes to be allowed once the Premier League resumes, 15 fit players would not even allow a full bench, though despite Brady's fears, most clubs appear ready to at least begin Project Restart with a full complement of motivated players.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching. Good night and stay safe.